Hey guys, we're ready to do some petty revenge, but first go down there and subscribe. MG, if you're new to the channel and you like the content you see, subscribe. If you could do it to me, I can do it to you too. When I was 20, I lived with my mom and stepdad in his mom's house. I paid $400 in rent and paid for my own groceries and covered one bill. Well, you could have just lived with a roommate. Why would you still live with a mom? That's a lot.
Is it?
I mean, a little amount in bills. It makes sense, but 400? And you shouldn't be paying for groceries. But he's an adult. He's 20 years old. So let's keep going. This was to set me up for being an adult. I shared a room with my sister. You're paying 400 for a shared room? No. They scammed you. I shared a room with my sister, 18. Later, I shared a room with her fiancé, now husband. She also paid 400. Oh, they were scamming them. Big time. They paid 800 for a room.
Okay.
The room was a small 11 by 11 foot with a small closet. I already knew there was a scam going on. My sister and I were both in college and worked full time. My stepdad would get mad because we would be on the computer on the early hours doing homework on social media, which is what adults who pay their bills and buy their own groceries should be doing and pay rent. And he's mad that they're staying on the computer doing homework. I don't even get that part. Dude. He got a device and it turned off the internet, which we paid for at 10 p.m., which was a remote device. If he got a wild hair, he would keep it up probably the whole day, so they would have no access to internet at home that they're paying for. Now he lives with me and my mom because he lost his house with get-rich schemes. How do you lose an entire house? He borrowed one from the bank and then lost. Oh, that's not nice. He started staying up late watching TV. I pay for. He's not even renting. They should be getting payback. They should be getting some money from them.
Yes, exactly.
I pay for all of the streaming that he watches and I pay for the internet. He pays for no bills other than rent. Okay, he pays for rent. That's okay. Well, I put a limit on the internet. So now he has to go to sleep at exactly 12 and can't watch anything until after 6 a.m. When you don't spend your money right, even as an adult, you get grounded by a kid. And it's so good. I actually really like his style. Yeah, you're the kid now. He doesn't know I put a limit on it and his TV solely, and the rest of the devices in the apartment work perfectly fine. Yeah, and it's not like he's going to leave his room to go and check other people's devices at exactly 12 o'clock, wondering why does it stop? And he probably doesn't even understand. You should tell him, because he did that to you guys. You should tell him so that it pisses him off to the maximum. So a scammer called me from a live number. I called him back over 100 times for the next hour.
Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
So I get a lot of phone calls like anyone else, but this guy called me twice in a row. So I called him back because it's my work phone. Well, he tried to tell me that I won the publishing SP clearance house. I told him I would split the 5 million with him if he could just tell me my name, which I told him when he answered. Oh, hi, this is G talking. Now tell me my name.
Say my name.
He still got it wrong and I laughed at him. We cursed each other.
Are you crazy?
We cursed each other out for a few seconds before he hung up on me. But I was just getting warmed up. I proceeded to call him back over 100 times for the next hour. 1 hour has 60 minutes. 60 minutes. So it was at least 2 calls. At least 2 calls every minute. He would answer he would answer every so often and cuss me out and threaten me before hanging up. I stopped for now, but I saved his number in my... He's I stopped for now, but I saved his number in my phone. I'll be calling him periodically just to harass him. And before anyone says I am wasting my time, this is something I actually get a lot of enjoyment out of. It's free entertainment as far as I'm concerned. It's being the superhero in your own Netflix movie. Do that to him, unless he breaks that SIM card and has to get a new one. He's going to be getting calls from him a lot.
Poor guy.
So driver paid tolls in pennies and I made them wait while I counted.
This is gonna be interesting.
I was working for the toll authority before they got rid of them for Easy Pass. This guy comes through with a toll of about $5. He raised his cupped hands towards me, full of pennies and nickels. Once I took them, he said, "Here you go, enjoy counting," while laughing to himself. So I told him, "Enjoy waiting right there until I'm done counting. Damn! Otherwise, I'll call the state troopers to bring you back." Why am I so excited about this? It's like I'm literally seeing the exchange happen, and someone is like, they've given you the middle finger, and you're like, "So of those to you." It's so exciting. I mean, I feel bad for those who would be honking and waiting in line, but it's like, really? He pouted the entire time. I stacked the pennies. I would literally make sure they're in order and accidentally knocked them over, having to start over a couple of times.
Come on now, dog.
He just chose the wrong person to play this with. He was over by 20 cents. I gave it back to him and said, "Here's your change. Aren't you glad you waited?" Oh, she edited and said no one was waiting. But I don't care if people were waiting. This was what waiting for. I bought a car that turned out to be a lemon. The seller ignored me, so I sent him a text. Back about 10 years ago, I drove 3 hours to buy a very specific car and got an hour home when the car died. Oh. So it's like 3 hours, drove 3 hours to get there. And then it's like 1 hour in. So 2 hours of like no car to go. Luckily at a garage, fortunately for you, had a mechanic look at it and he said it was obvious the seller had botched a problem with piston rings and would cost me more than I paid to fix. Rang the seller to discuss it with him, but he ignored my calls, refused to reply to text, and I was very polite, just wanted to talk to him about it. No abuse was sent. Well, people will be like, "What the F, what?" And he was still being polite and a gentleman, and he did that to him. After a couple of days, I got fed up and I remembered that this guy had a very old phone, one that only accepts text messages of a certain amount of characters. And then had to split the text into another message. So if you sent him one paragraph, he would have to probably split it in 2.
I don't know. I just got here.
I, on the other hand, had an iPhone. So I copied and pasted the entire works of Shakespeare into a message and sent it to him. I don't read Shakespeare, but I know his work is a lot. So he copied them. Some people are so imaginative with their pettiness. It's so delicious. So I copied and pasted the entire works of Shakespeare into a message and sent it to him. Apparently, it took a week before he could use his phone again without a text message interrupting. They came every second or so, anytime he turned his phone on. I eventually got a refund and he got his car back. Problem solved. No police called. Just pure wisdom. We need to read this revenge story so we can have an archive of where to go to, because this was brilliant thinking. So this guy comes in seconds before closing and gets turned away. I work at an urgent care who takes patients up until closing, which is 10 p.m. So I'm locking the door last night. A guy and his 3 kids yank it open. So as I make the one where you're like, please, where you feel sorry for them. They yank it open as I had my hand on the lock. So, that must be annoying. I'll probably be hurt. So I sit back to register this final group of people, and he finds a friend of his in the lobby. Of course, the first thing he does is to walk over to have a conversation, not even starting the registration process. As in, she's probably been there all day dealing with people's crap, people who are hurt and in pain and not nice. And then she's like, you know what? He has kids. Let's let them in when she should be going home probably to her own kids.
Absolutely.
So I take a look at the clock, 10:01, and he's not moving. So I shut off my computer and shut the light off, which gets his attention. So he's not even seeing the computer turning down. It's like, you know what? How is your wife? How are the kids? When you're late. He walks over and in the most snarky voice possibly, me and my 3 kids need to be seen. My response, Unfortunately, we only take patients up until 10 p.m. and that time frame has passed. When you're being like sassy, when you're like being an actually when you're being an actual B word and you're doing it politely, it's even more annoying, especially when the other person is very rattled. Now, he responds saying that he was in the building before 10 p.m. Unfortunately, not as a patient, but as a companion to the people he was talking to in the lobby. So I offered to walk them out so I could lock the door behind him. I was out at 10:05 p.m. and happy as a clown. Now, there's two things here. This is very good. He deserved it, but I feel bad if one of those kids actually needed some help. But like, people need to get better at parenting. Well, that was some petty revenge for you guys. Now you can go have your day because I just made it better. See you guys in the next video. Bye.